for those of you trying or planning to japa, that is, to travel abroad, especially to United States of America, these are the hints, these are the points, these are the things you must know before you move out of Africa. I welcome you back to this channel. If this is your first time, please subscribe, like, and comment. Yes, there are certain things you need to look out for when you are planning to migrate from Africa to the United States. The main reason why people travel out of Africa to United States, I'm using United States as an example in this case, to Europe, to Canada, and because majority of people who travel out of Africa find themselves in United States. United States has a large heart to accommodate people. Among all countries people travel to regularly, United States has the biggest population and the landmass. So it is encouraging that people travel to United States of America, especially when you consider the fact that they are liberal in their laws. Again, one thing that is important for people traveling to America is that, America is populated by the white and the black. So from Africa, you can easily mix with people, unlike Europe, where you have majority, maybe 90%, 95% of them white. So if you move in there, they can easily identify you out. And to be sincere, racism is high in those places. You can see what happened to Vinny Jr., a player for Real Madrid in Spain. What just happened to him? People saying racist remarks against him. That is not too common in America. You don't see people crowd like that expressing racism or racist remark against people. So it is a suitable place. America is a suitable place for people trying to leave Africa and settle abroad. However, it is not every state in the United States of America that is very, very accommodating or that suits the purpose of you moving in, settle down, and get work to do. The main reason why people travel, as I said, is for to get money, is to work and earn money. So places like Alaska is very, very cold. You can hardly survive there if you are from Africa. Places like Minnesota, places like Kansas, places like Michigan, these places are not too, would I say, friendly with Africans, because for one reason or the other, maybe it's too cold or it's not foreigner oriented, or because you cannot easily get a job. So I will not advise you, if you are moving in first, to move to those countries. So to move to those states. So which states are the top when, as an immigrant from Africa, you can easily find your footing and do well? I think I will go for New York first. New York is good. Maryland is good. Chicago is good. Texas is good, and Atlanta is good. These are some of the top states in the United States where you can easily settle down and find your feet. And New Jersey too. New Jersey is a good place. But let me start with New York. New York is very good. New York is the let me say, the financial capital of the world. So there's a volume of trade, there's a volume of cash moving around in New York. So for New York, you can easily get a job. There are a lot of activities in New York that you can easily get a job. And New York is like Lagos. For people who are familiar with Nigeria, New York is like Lagos. It accommodates the good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, you can easily find your foot in there. And New York has a kind of nightlife. It is a city that does not sleep. So you can easily find a place to hang around. Even if you don't have accommodation, really, you can easily find something that will keep you engage, or where you can, let me say, lay your head throughout the day, throughout the night. It's always busy. For example, the transportation system in New York is almost like excellent. The buses run almost 24 hours. The trains runs almost 24 hours. So even if you move into the country, I know people who move into that country, who move to that state, and they don't have accommodation to stay, or those who promise them accommodation, who promise to accommodate them, failed them, disappointed them. So what did they do? They just jump into a train and move from one destination to the end of that destination and move back with that train, move again with the train, move back with that train. So that is how they keep time going until maybe they can find a place to rest. And the journey from one point to the other in the train can take you hours. And since you're in that train, you don't pay again. When you get to the end, you don't exit the train station, you still stay in that train and move back. So you can find a kind of, it may be rough, but you can find a place to lay your head in the train for hours. You can't do that in Michigan, very sure. There's no accommodation like that, no train or transportation system like that can accommodate you like that in Michigan. So New York can accommodate you, and it is very, very, very easy comparatively to other states to get a job in New York City. New York City or New York State is part of the few states that is that are called sanctuary states. That is, those are the states in which there is a kind of protection against immigration officials. They cannot just pump into you and arrest you and take you out of the country. No, New York does not allow that. Although immigration is a federal agency, but New York does not encourage that. You can hardly hear or see people running foul against the immigration system or immigration and custom, and they will pick them and deport them. No, it is not. Nobody cares about what you are when you are in New York. Nobody bothers you, and it is easy, one way or the other, to get a job doing. And again, the minimum wage in New York City is among the highest. There's places where when New York pays 15 as a minimum wage, places, states pay as little as 9, 10. So it is even easier in New York to earn higher than most of those states. So that's another reason why people prefer to move to New York first. And when you get your feet, when you get your everything you are supposed to get, and you are grounded and you are properly settled, you can move to other states. Because some people will come to New York first, mix with the multitude, settle, get some money, and if they feel that New York life is too much of hustle and bustle, they go to places like Texas and settle down, where they have calmer life, where the environment is a bit cooler. But if you are moving for the first time, it may not be easy, because in those places you need your own vehicle to move around. If you don't have a car, you cannot move around. But in New York, you are moving in, you don't even need a car. Buses, as I said, run almost 24 hours. Trains run almost 24 hours everywhere you want to go. So you don't need it. As a new person, as a foreigner, you can easily survive in New York better than in most of those other states. And again, when I talk about you getting job, you know you need connection. You know what we call man no man. You know you need people who are already on ground to help you out. And I tell you, New York has a large population of Nigerians, of Ghanaians, of Senegalese, of people from Burkina Faso, and many other African countries. So if you move to New York, for instance, especially New York City, you can easily see people you know, people who understand your culture, who understand your language, who are from the same country with you, and they can easily guide you. They can easily show you one or two things you need to do to move on, to move ahead. And in places like Brooklyn in New York City, there are a lot of Nigerians there. In places like Bronx in New York City, there are a lot of Ghanaians there. Places like Queens, you have Chinese, you have Jamaicans, you have a lot sort of people. New York is a place where you have a lot of people from different tribes, different culture, different tradition, different country. So you can easily see somebody who will be like you. You will not look odd. If you go to Minnesota, you look odd. You look to Alaska, you look odd. So stay where you have multitude of your people who are like you, who think like you, who can easily help you. And of course, another very important thing is that if you stay in New York, you can easily get African food. Don't believe that if you move to another country like US, you can easily adjust and eat their food. It is not going to be easy. And don't say you are not coming to America, you are not going to America because you want to eat food. No, you need food and you need good food. You can easily get that in New York City. For example, as I said, in Brooklyn, you can easily get Nigerian food almost everywhere. Amala, fufu, eba, and African food you can easily get. So you are more at home when you live around that place. Bronx, Ghanaian food, Senegalese food are common. And you can easily get shops, Ghanaian shops, African shops where you can buy your stuff to make you settle down. African food. Try that in Michigan. You mess yourself up, you can hardly see. Go and try that in Minnesota. Go and try that, of course, don't mention Alaska. You are in a mess. So these are some of the reasons why when you are planning to go to foreign countries, especially United States, stay where you can easily find your people, somebody or things that can easily help you to absorb culture shock. You can easily get a job. You can easily get higher pay compared to other states. And I think in London too, they say there's a place called Peckham where there are a lot of Nigerians. So if you are moving to countries like that, you need to know those places. So this is about New York. I think if you are planning and you consider all these things, New York is always a good place, the very first port of call that you can easily find your feet, get job easily when you compare to other states, and you find your level easily. And if you want to move out much later, that will be fine. And New Jersey too, because New Jersey, you can easily link New Jersey, a neighboring state, to New York by train. So there are many people, because life in New Jersey is a bit cheaper. There are people who live in New Jersey and work in New York. They get higher pay in New York, and they spend the money in New Jersey, which is a bit cheaper. So New York, New Jersey, these places are good for people who are migrating from Africa to United States, at least for the first time. When they get in there and settle, they can now decide which other state they may want to go. So this is the information I have brought to you today for those who are planning, or those who have people in United States. There are many people who made mistake of going to unfriendly states like Indianapolis too, and they had to run away. Of course, they must suffer. They suffer and suffer when they saw that they could not cope. They had to run to New York. Those states, if you don't have your own car, it is difficult for you to move around, and it is very, very difficult to get a job in New York. There's always a way, which of course I will not be mentioning, but there are always a way to do that in New York and New Jersey especially. So this is how it is. Consider that if you want to travel. I'm using New York as an example for the United States. I know people who go to Europe, especially England. We have their own places like that too, but that is for the United States of America. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for staying with this content up to this moment. If you find this interesting and helpful, check back again on this channel. Thank you very much. Remain blessed.